Welcome in, everybody. I'm sorry, dude. I can't.
What?
We've gotten off to a great
Off to
start
a
here.
roaring start here.
What's up, James?
I'm sorry. It's
Wow.
this was completely
What a start.
unintentional.
Tyler
It's like me
Henry
20 years
wearing
ago.
matching. Tyler Henry wearing matching glasses on the show.
Not just glasses, bro. It's the whole
The
thing.
whole outfit, the whole getup.
Shirt. All right. Let me try this again.
I missed the memo. I'm wearing a gray shirt for the record.
I'm sorry. Oh my God. All right. Welcome in,
Wow.
everybody, to another MLS Monday by Scarves and Spikes. We are off to a wonderful start. A whole lot
Rocking and
going on in
rolling.
Major League Soccer this weekend that we're going to dive into after we make a million jokes about our matching
Yeah.
attire. But man,
My decision not to match.
yes, I'm so sorry. This was completely unintentional. We got on and we're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
I honestly, I had my glasses like not even on because I usually don't wear them for the show. Maria, no.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't even wear them when I go on to the show, and I'm just like, I see
Wear 'em
Tyler
anymore.
come on. I'm like, okay, great. I
Right.
have to do this now for the bit, you know?
There you go.
just had
there you
a
go.
beard. That's
We're
all
supposed
we
to
need.
tell who's who. Well, that's the fun part, right? You know, we're completely alike.
We'll see who makes the dad jokes. And the one who is Tyler is not the one making the dad jokes. We're
Yeah.
Ironically, father of
no.
four.
Right.
So how are y'all doing?
I'm doing good. We're off to a good start here, guys.
Oh, we
Really?
are. We're on a roll already.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good one.
It's been a fun
100%.
Monday.
I don't
Monday,
believe you, Tyler.
MLS Monday after dark, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. Yes. All right. So we're gonna talk about Son again. We're gonna talk about Thomas Müller. We're gonna talk about Evander. We're gonna talk about Major League Soccer as a whole. Some guy named Lionel Messi.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, just
You
where
heard again?
this league is going at this moment, it seems like all the big names. You have some big names that pop in, right? And then they might go quiet for a while. Olivier
Yeah.
Giroud comes to mind. It seems like the big names are all that not all we've had to talk about. There's been a lot to talk about, but they're doing their job and they're catching the headlines, right?
Good content for us. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Heck yeah. I mean, Major League Soccer is starting to sound more and more like the Champions League with the names that we're getting.
Mhm.
I mean, thinking that Son, Müller, Messi, DePaul, Royce, all of these guys are already here in MLS, and it's just an exciting time to be a part of the league, to follow it, and to see some of these guys play, honestly.
And the big question is, we'll talk about Müller a little bit later on, what's the impact they'll have in MLS? I mean, Henry, like you said, these aren't just scrubs. These are big names. These are significant names coming to the league. The stigma around MLS is, hey, it's a retirement league. People just come here to wind down their careers. Not so sure that's still the case. DePaul certainly has years ahead of him. Son certainly has years ahead of him. Müller kind of in the twilight of his career. But the fact remains that I don't want to say MLS is becoming a destination league, right? But it's not being looked over by really some of the best players in the world. That's good to see. And I kind of judge it's good content for us. I mean, it is, but
Yeah, it works out for us.
yeah, it
for
does.
sure. But before we dive into the big names, like really dive into them, we have to do our tradition at the beginning of the show, which is currently unsponsored, by the way. Throwing that out there.
But you can sponsor it if you so choose. Just contact us at
Hit us
whatever
up.
our email is.
scarvesandspikes@gmail.com.
There you go.
Easy. No. Favorite weekend or favorite week, man. We're off to a wonderful start here.
Take a deep breath. Me.
Yeah, here we go. No, your favorite moment of the match day.
I gotta say Evander. I know we'll talk about him later on, but I mean, if you live long enough, you're the villain, right? And that's exactly what happened against the Portland Timbers. You just knew he would score right at Providence Park. And you knew after he scored, he'd celebrate. And yeah, he's now the villain for all time in Portland. But I love that. I love the personality. We talked about it a few weeks ago. I love the personality. These players aren't robots. They have feelings. They have personalities. Let them show it. Let them express what they're feeling. And Evander certainly did that. I know the fans weren't too thrilled with that part of this part, but it's soccer, it's football, it's sports. Get used to it. And Evander, I'm sure, knows that comes with the territory. So that is my favorite moment of the week and this past weekend MLS, Henry.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the other side of the spectrum. I'm going to talk about Heung-min Son on his debut, and we're going to get into the specifics of the game a little bit later. But my favorite moment from that game and my favorite moment of MLS this weekend was how he celebrated not a goal, but his assist to the game-winning goal in stoppage time. I mean, there's a clip, if y'all haven't seen it, where he's literally like he's his big like trademark smile, right?
Yeah.
He's like jumping around, happy, like he just won the World Cup or something. And it's literally just a regular season game against freaking the New England Revolution. So
that's what it means.
Yeah, it means a lot to him, and it tells you a lot about his mentality coming to MLS. He's not just here for a paycheck. He's not just here because it's, I'm just here for the, I guess, the phrase I like to call is like the cigar players, like freaking Higuain, that just like thought, okay, MLS is going to be easy. I'm just going to be bagging like 20 goals easy without lifting a finger. Nah, dude, he's here. He's here to play. He's here because he cares, and he's happy to be in Los Angeles, to be part of LAFC. And so it's going to be exciting to see him the rest of the season and, next season, see what kind of stuff he does.
Yeah.
So that was actually my number one, but I did have a backup just in case, because I figured Son was definitely going to be one of y'all's. But for me, I have to bring it back to Atlanta. And I know you're thinking, why would this be your favorite moment? Because I feel like if there is nothing that can't change the way Atlanta United is, just like their luck and the way that this team plays and the whatever else that is going on that needs to be removed / burned / sent to another dimension, whatever related to Atlanta, if that doesn't just show what has to happen, the moment where Tristan Miyamba is played a ball.
No, wait a minute. This must be your favorite moment, though.
I know.
Don't make me relive this, Tyler.
It's my favorite moment because I just feel like this is the moment it all changes.
Right.
It changes.
It can't get any worse.
This isn't the Wednesday show, Tyler.
I don't care. All right.
Yeah.
It was but it also, from the neutral MLS perspective, if you were watching that and you saw this, you would think, wow, Atlanta is the definition of snake bitten. And most other teams' fans tend to not like Atlanta United. So this is probably a very good moment for you to see a ball played into Tristan Miyamba, who deflects it on goal at point blank range. Literally as close to the goal line as I am from the camera on my computer right now. And somehow Alexei Miranchuk finds a way to stand in between the deflected ball and the goal line to send it out for a goal.
I mean,
we complain about no one making the back post run, and then two players do it and get in each other's way.
So much for that.
Yeah. So that is my favorite moment because I just feel like, man, if that doesn't show everybody, including the players, rock bottom, and they're like, this is it. We've hit it now. Now we got to it's just up from here. Then I don't know what will. So this is my very optimistic take on a very terrible moment in the Atlanta United match this week.
So it's your favorite moment in that you feel like this is a turnaround point for Atlanta United in the final 8 matches of the season with really nothing to play for.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
I really do admire how optimistic you can be coming out of that crap show, but we need it. We need you to balance out the crap that's going on, man. So full power to you there.
Somebody's got to do it.
Right.
So anyway, but it was a good weekend overall. It really was.
Yeah.
for MLS as all. There was really a lot of good moments. Like all joking aside, there was tons. Messi like running out of the stadium was pretty funny, but like we'll get to that in a little bit. But let's start going back to Heung-min Son and everything that happened with him. He is rapidly living up to all the hype. Not that I think that was a surprise, but it's like, man, some guys take a long time to get adjusted to MLS, and Son just got here and said, "Cool, let's roll, guys. I'm gonna drop right in and make something happen." Played the whole match.
Yeah.
So seems to be fitting in nicely so far.
First start with LAFC. So you could have asked more. Obviously a goal, but you couple that Tyler Henry with what you did last week, the previous week against Chicago, won the penalty for LAFC, and now in this first career start with LAFC, getting the assist for Marky Delgado, or not Marky Delgado, I apologize, Mathieu Chonier, to not win the game, but give LAFC breathing room. Marky Delgado had the match winner, what was the match winner. But now, guys, we talked about LAFC. How far can they move up the table? They're fifth right now, 40 points, 24 games. Shield feels like it's maybe a little bit too far out of their grasp, right? But what do we say about LAFC? This is a team that has kind of peaked and valleyed all throughout the year. You have Steve Cherundolo leaving at the end of the season. You're not doing too well in El Tráfico. Cherundolo not really showing a whole lot of emotion. And now you look at Heung-min Son coming in, and you think, hey, what can this team do? How can it move up the standings? What can it do to improve itself in the Western Conference? Could this be a sleeper team in the Western Conference? I don't know. But if Son keeps clicking, if this attack can take that next step forward, I don't see why they can't be, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. LAFC is always a team that you have to look out for because they are, over the past 7-8 years, been one of the most consistently competitive teams in the league. And Son just raises their level, I think. They are a few games back. They have a few games in hand because of their participation in Club World Cup. They've played 24 games. Most teams at this point have played between 26 to 27 games. All four teams in front of them in the West have played 26 or 27 games. So they could really close that gap and find themselves in a home playoff spot and potentially one of the higher spots in the West. So, I wouldn't eliminate the Shield as a possibility. It's very unlikely because you have several other teams in front of them that are probably going to keep pace. But in the event that they don't keep pace, that opens a window. Though. It's a tough ask for sure. Not as tough as Atlanta making the playoffs, but it's a tough ask. But yeah, you definitely have to regard them as a solid team. They now have a number 9 that, isn't naturally a number 9, but he works well in the number 9 role. You saw him in this game really dropping into pockets of space, finding the right areas to kind of receive the ball, and his high pressure. He runs for, what is he, 33? He still runs a lot. And his pressure was what set up Marky Delgado's goal because he helped win the ball back with that. And so that's what you needed. And I think he's giving you some of the stuff that Olivier Giroud didn't give you at that number 9 position. So I'm interested to see how that continues to work. And yeah, definitely a team that, especially as you get towards crunch time, towards the MLS Cup playoffs, LAFC is going to be a team to watch for sure.
Yeah. Excuse me. I think the supporter shield. Yeah, that's a tough ask for sure. You would essentially have to. You'd have to lock in 15 points and then hope that a handful of really good teams don't do anything for the rest of the season. Right. That would be really, really tough. Now, that being said, I think they make it to what is currently the supporter shield line, which is 52 points. They make it there. I do believe that. And I do think that pushes them up to a home playoff spot. I think Son is one of those players that is going to make just about any team that he goes on to better. I think he fits this one perfectly, though. You know,
Yeah.
you get a lot of these, you get a lot of good players that come into the league, A league, doesn't not just MLS, but A league, and they're great players, but they just don't fit. Olivier Giroud did not fit this system, and I said that from like literally in the preseason. I mean, last year too, but in the preseason, I was like, this is not the guy that LAFC needs to have.
Right.
He just was not kind of player for what LAFC was trying to do. Son is a very, very mobile, whatever you want to use him as. And he will go wherever you ask him to go. He's willing, he's disciplined, he's going to do the job. He's going to do the hard work. And so I think it just fits. And I do believe he absolutely and exponentially makes LAFC better. So yeah, home playoff spot for sure. And I fully believe LA goes pretty far into the playoffs.
And I'll just say this real quick before we turn the page here. I feel like there's a lot of, gun shyness around bringing in Son because Tyler talking about how Giroud didn't do as well as planned with LAFC, how Marco Royce has sort of lived to catch on across town with the Galaxy. So I can imagine that a few LAFC fans are like, I know what Son has done in the Premier League with Spurs. He did the same with LAFC. So I can understand maybe a little bit of trepidation around the LAFC fan base, but if he keeps putting in performances like this, next up obviously is a goal. But again, if he can elevate this team's attack, if he can make them better up front, if he can help, relieve some of the pressure off Denny Bwanga, then I feel like the sky's the limit for this club. So certainly one to watch. Maybe a dark horse. I agree, Tyler. I would have bet against them, make it relatively deep run into the playoffs. They need it, right? They need it because it's not been a great season by their standards. And maybe add that to the fact, again, Cherundolo leaving. Maybe, hey, let's win it for the coach and add another trophy to our case.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the big names out of the way, but now moving north a ways up the West Coast to Vancouver. And you're talking about people making an instant impact. Thomas Müller comes in the 60th minute. And I thought, I was like, oh my goodness, what a dream moment for Vancouver fans. Forget Müller. He's done this plenty of times.
Yeah.
But what a dream moment for Vancouver fans. They're already sitting on top of the world. They're having one of the best seasons they've ever had. They've been Supporter Shield leaders for most of the season. And then Thomas Müller comes in and scores a freaking banger. This was not an easy goal. This would have been probably goal of the week, possibly.
Say probably. Why do you say probably, though, Tyler?
Well, because Messi probably would have been in there, and then anyway. But no, it would have probably because it got called back in the build-up.
Yes,
for offside.
Yes, and I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, it's barely offside. I mean, Brian White does make contact toward goal, and if he's offside, I'm just looking at it again. If he's offside, oh no, I'm sorry, he is offside. It's an easy call. But Brian White, come on, man. What are you doing? Robbing Müller of his moment. What's going on here?
It was rough.
It was. Welcome to MLS, Thomas Müller.
Yeah.
First goal getting called back on an offside. I'm looking at the players celebrating, not realizing what happens. And then Müller's like, oh my God, so that got called back. And just pretty awkward start to his MLS career. He'll get goals.
Too good to be
true. Too good to be true, but he'll get goals eventually during his time. And we talked about a few weeks ago what his impact would be numerically, statistically. But yeah, he affected the match, but just didn't count, obviously.
It would have been the game winner.
It would have been the game winner because it ended up being a 1-1 draw with the Houston Dynamo. Yeah. And Vancouver, they're third in the West with 46 points. They, I don't want to say they like badly need the points, but if they want to really keep in the Shield race, right now with a game in hand, they are 6 points off San Diego, who's currently in the lead. It's not impossible, but again, it's a tough ask when you have teams like San Diego, Cincinnati that are just in the form that they're in. You really can't afford these missteps against, frankly, a team that you should be beating in the Houston Dynamo. Houston Dynamo they haven't been great.
No.
They haven't been good this season at all.
No.
They're at the bottom of the West, aren't they? Like close to the bottom, 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a team that you have to be getting 3 points against. So definitely a disappointing result for Vancouver. A chance there to close the gap a little bit from the Supporters Shield. Look, CONCACAF Champions Cup was, I guess, the tipping point for this Vancouver team because they haven't really fully recovered since that loss. And man, it seemed before that game that they had everything going for them this season, right? Supporters Shield, CONCACAF Champions Cup, Canadian Championship, potentially an MLS Cup contender. Now they're a question mark. After the CCC blowout, there were question marks. The results that came after added more. I think Thomas Müller removes a little bit of those question marks. This was just his debut. You got 30 minutes of him. I think with more time, you're going to see his class make the difference for this Vancouver team. And who knows? I mean, just like Son is going to affect LAFC in some ways. I mean, we're talking about a World Cup winner. We're talking about one of the mainstays at one of the biggest clubs in the world, the biggest club in Germany. I mean, that's going to rub off on some of the players, and it's going to inspire them, and it's going to be very good for this team. So I'm looking forward to seeing how exactly what he does for the rest of the season in Vancouver and 2026 as well.
And no Ryan Gauld yet, guys. Let's not forget that.
Is he ever going to play another game this season? I swear he's been injured forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep saying when Ryan Gauld gets back, this team will be better, but he's not come back. And I feel like that's another angle to the story that you have to discuss.
Yeah. But no, I mean, but as far as Mueller's concerned, I think, like I said that going into kind of when these rumors first popped up, right? We were kind of going through the conversation of like, does he come out with, 10 goals, 10 assists, 15 and 10, 5 and 5, like whatever the number we threw at it was.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest thing was I want him to rub off on Berhalter and some of these other guys to give them the experience. It's not just about what he does on the pitch, but I think what I liked most about what he did do on the pitch was the confidence in just taking that shot and then of course scoring it, even though it was, eventually called back. But that is a good sign for Vancouver. If Thomas Müller is confident, then the sky's the limit, honestly. So I like that. I like what I saw out of him. I mean, he had like 5 passes into the final third in 30 minutes. Like that's pretty significant for a central midfielder. I mean, like that's good to see. So
I'll say this: I don't think Thomas Müller is going to be lacking confidence.
No, but I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
He's had tougher games than freaking Houston Dynamo.
100%. But leaving your family on the other side of the world and moving to a brand new city, essentially for the first time in your life, that would be what I would wonder if it's going to sap his confidence. Maybe not his confidence, but you have things on your mind, right? Like it's not just about the soccer game in front of you. It's about my family getting over here, my house or apartment, whatever, probably a house.
Visa.
Visa, like everything going on. And so you see that a lot. Like players' minds aren't fully in it when they first get here. I mean, we've had plenty of folks that we've talked to, plenty of players that we've talked to here in Atlanta, as an example. Latte Lath was one recently that we spoke with, and he kind of talks about like all the stuff that goes into getting here, moving here, and becoming a part of the league and the country and everything else. So, but Mueller said, "Nah, screw it, man. I'm just going to go play football." And good for him.
A goal in my debut.
Yeah,
an offside goal, but goal.
Hey, it'd be what it be.
It's a goal in our hearts.
It is
right,
and Vancouver fans will never forget that moment for sure.
Real quick, that's a big point for Houston, right? Because now they're 3 points back of San Jose. Granted, Salt Lake City, RSL are 2 points ahead of them. They're 11 points with Dallas, but Dallas has a tiebreak on goal differential. So that's a good point for Dallas, especially getting that late, because if they don't get that, they're 4 points back of San Jose. They're still in the playoff chase. They're still in the playoff hunt. And I know we're kind of saying they struggled this season, but they're barely keeping their heads above water. So playoffs, not a foregone conclusion, certainly for the Houston Dynamo, but not an impossibility. They're right there. They just need some results down the stretch. Sentiment around Ben Olsen has not been great, but they need performances down the stretch here. Can they do it? Can they leapfrog Dallas or RSL to get into the top 9 of the Western Conference? It's a question.
I think it's tough.
Yeah, no, it is.
I know we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on them, but I just think they're right now at this point in the season, the good teams are going to be there and the bad teams are going to drop out, and the good teams are pretty much already there. I feel. Now, yeah, there's some spots, and like I talked about it last week with like on my match to watch, like you have definitely some wiggle room, but I just don't know that Houston specifically. I just don't know that they're good enough to make it.
Nah, you gotta grind out results. And right now, of the teams that are in the scrap for one of those play-in spots, they are at the bottom of the totem pole. They are 29 points, and they have to make up a difference of, we said it was 3 at least.
Yeah.
But ideally, you got to do a little bit better, and they have 8 games left to do it. So we'll see how that goes. But I wouldn't put money on them.
That's Tommy's job to put money on it, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Right. And I'm cosplaying as Tyler. Wrong person. Sorry.
I will say this before we jump over to well, I guess this actually kind of leads into the next one. To a degree. Talking about the bottom of at least the Eastern Conference. The Red Bulls, they won their match.
Yeah.
The second of 2, by the way. In the past week, but they won that match, and they are now even on points with Chicago Fire. But they do have one more game that they played, so Chicago has a game in hand. But it's a very close race right there for that play-in game. You got New York right above them at 41 points. Both of them are at 39. That game ended up being one that kind of flip-flops a couple of things, and then you ended up with Philly dropping down to second in the Supporter Shield race, and our good friends FC Cincinnati hopping up there tied with San Diego in points, but San Diego now winning on the tiebreaker as it stands.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati, there were some things. You alluded to it earlier, Sydney.
Oh, spicy.
Well, by the way, we got to give the Red Bulls their just due. Being the Union for the first time in 16 tries across all competitions, guys. That's pretty impressive. So let's not just give them their just due, give them their flowers for that victory. But Evander, that was the big storyline, right? Coming back to Portland, the team he called home when he first came to MLS, and controversy over his departure. Didn't get on with front office, has flourished in Cincinnati, and once you know it, he not only assists on a goal, but Kevin Denke, but scores a tremendous goal of his own. Goes over to the Timbers Army and says, "Hey, can you hear me? I mean, this is what you're missing out on, Portland." So he's the villain, right? He's the villain, and he's going to be the villain for a while as long as he's in this league. And again, I talked about it earlier, right? Show some personalities, show some, some fire. I like it. I love it. If it's against my team, I don't love this as much, right? But if I'm a neutral watching, I like to see it. I like to see that fire. I like to see that competitiveness. Evander, if he's not on the Timbers last year, if he's not nearly as productive as he is, they don't even sniff the playoffs. I mean, they made the wild card round, but they got blown out, of course, by Vancouver. So look at what he's doing in Cincinnati. Goal and assist. Nearly give it back Cincinnati due, but they survived to win 3-2. And Tyler, like you said, right back in the race for the Supporter Shield. Well, they were always in the race, but now their level of points, as he said, with San Diego. San Diego has the tiebreak. Philly lost. Nashville lost. So it's kind of a domino effect, like you said, Tyler. And Cincinnati, what do they have to say for themselves with 7 matches to go in the regular season?
Henry, what you think?
What do they have to say for themselves? That they are a legitimate contender, that they have a very real chance of winning their second Supporters Shield in 3 years after 3 years of finishing dead last, which is wild. Yeah, I mean, Evander is just from another planet. That is wild how good he is, just how skilled he is on the ball, just his ability to create, his ability to just score from anywhere. I mean, anywhere he gets the ball around the box, he is a threat. And he showed it to Portland. Portland fans knew this, right? They knew this going in. And I think it was funny, the setup to this game was, Phil Neville talking about yes, he was an icon in Portland.
Yeah.
But now, he is an opponent. Like, he doesn't want the fans to cheer him or anything. Like, make it as hostile as possible. Fast forward to game day, and suddenly, the fans are booing him every time he has the ball. Like when he was announced in the stadium, like it's just a rain of boos from the Timbers Army. And there was only one way that was going to end, and it was him scoring. And then silence, well, not even silencing, because they started booing as soon as that happened. But yeah,
it's swearing at him.
Absolute cinema. I loved every minute of it. I have a little fun mini game for us here.
What's that?
So, talking about villains, there have been quite a few villains in MLS history, and I have 5 of them here. I want y'all to rank them based on how much of a villain they were in MLS. Number 1, we already talked about him, Evander.
Yes.
2, former FC Cincinnati midfielder Lucho Acosta. 3, Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yes.
4, Dom Dwyer. And number 5, our good friend, Joseph Martinez.
Well, let's talk about this a little bit, though. I feel like Dom Dwyer doesn't really belong in the discussion. Same discussion as Zlatan, as Evander, certainly as Joseph. So I feel like he's number 5, right? He's at the bottom. Lucho maybe, or Joseph maybe number 4. Joseph number 3, I'll say. Lucho number 4, Joseph number 3, and then Evander and Zlatan 2 and 1 in my book. That's how I see it. What do you think, Tyler? How do you rank these players that Henry just named as how much of a villain they are or where?
What do you think? I don't know. I mean, I think Dom Dwyer definitely had his moments for sure. So I'm actually putting Acosta at 5 because I just feel like, I mean, he didn't do anything in terms of personality to really, I think, become that heel. I just don't think he really took what he probably could have done and made something of it. And then he just kind of dips out on the league as a whole. Anyway. Yes, Tommy Smurfs after dark. So no, Lucho is my number 5. I'll say Dwyer 4. Dwyer's there, I think, because he just has so many different clubs and so many opportunities, and he was a dark arts master. And so a lot of fans across many fan bases hate him. And good for him. When he was in Atlanta, we loved him because he just, first of all, his personality was amazing. It was hilarious, but he got under other players' skin.
Yeah.
So Dom 4. I'm gonna go with Evander now as number 3. I think he's rapidly working his way up, and I think if he continues this way, he'll take that spot for sure. And I'll give you reasons why. My next 2, Zlatan, number 2, only because Zlatan is a straight up asshole.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. And I just think his personality is absolutely.
But he backed it up, right? He backed it up.
He backed it up, but his personality was just he's a heel. He is like a wrestling heel. He never turned heel. He was always heel. He's always been a douchebag.
He was born heel.
Yeah.
Right.
But I make him 2 because he wasn't here long enough, in my opinion, to really make it better than it could have been. Had he been here for 3, 4, 5 years, oh man, we would be this wouldn't even be a discussion right now. It would be 2 through 5. It wouldn't be 1. Like 1 would be Zlatan 100%. I say Joseph only because for 3 years, you could not go on MLS Twitter and not see somebody hating on this man. Period. They hated Joseph Martinez in Atlanta United to the point where they were calling for people, like calling for MLS to stop putting the voting for Golden League and everything else, like on Twitter, because Atlanta would always win it. And that's partially due to the fans' love of Joseph. So, and maybe it's a little bit of an Atlanta bias for me.
Little ballot stuffing.
They hated Joseph. Hated him. So there's my ranking.
Henry,
what about you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it would probably be similar to Tyler's. I mean, for me, the last one, I would probably do Lucho Acosta. I kind of threw him in there because I felt like his exit from Cincinnati in particular, and now his exit from Dallas kind of points to him being a bit of a diva character, but I guess on the field, he didn't really exhibit that, I guess, dramatic personality. I don't know. He was a solid player, but I guess he's the least villainy of these guys. I would say. Right. The rest are tough, but I'm gonna say Evander 4. I'm gonna give him something to work towards because I feel like he's already a solid villain character as far as Portland, and I think he's growing in as a villain among the Columbus camp with the Hell is Real Derby and all. But I think he's still very new to this role, I guess. I think, when he was in Portland, we weren't talking about him as a villain. And until right now, I mean, we're only starting to mention him in that kind of role. So I'm going to put him at 4 because I want to put Dom Dwyer at 3. Because Dom Dwyer, I feel like in his time, not just with Atlanta, but we're talking like Orlando and such. I personally, when he was in Orlando, I did not like the guy. I thought he was a dick. And I'm saying that, yeah, I said the word, but yeah.
Dom, if you're listening, views expressed in that the opinions of Scarface.
Dom, I love you now, but back then you were really good at making people not like you. Right. And that was one of those folks. Like 14-year-old me was one of those. But
he wanted to come back to Atlanta.
Really?
Come back for the night. Yes.
Interesting. Well, wherever you are, Dom, best of luck.
Come on.
Number 3. Wait, that was number 3. Sorry. Number 2. I'm going to put Joseph because all the reasons you said, Tyler. Number 1 is Zlatan because no one out villains Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and I'm sorry, but nothing is ever topping the fact that he debuted on El Tráfico, comes on, and his first touch of the ball is him volleying it from almost the halfway line into the goal.
Insane.
It just doesn't get any more villainy than that. So that he tops for me. It would take a lot to surpass that.
Yeah, it's a good shout. I remember that game like it was yesterday. That was a wild one.
I went crazy when I watched that go
in. All right. We'll wrap up with Cincy real quick on this. They lead the East, tied with San Diego right now. San Diego winning on the tiebreaker technically. But it's anybody's game at this point, essentially. Do they win their second Supporter Shield in 3 years?
No, I think San Diego. I feel like San Diego. And take nothing away from Cincinnati, by the way, but I think San Diego just has the momentum at this point. Both teams do, by the way, but I just want to take a quick look at remaining matches for either team just to get a picture of what they have to do to get to the Shield. And let's not forget Philadelphia, by the way, but just for the purposes of this, San Diego and Cincinnati. San Diego at Portland at home, at LAFC, Minnesota at Atlanta, San Jose at Houston, at Portland to close out the season. And then Cincinnati, New York City, Philly, Nashville at home, at the Galaxy, home against Orlando, at the Red Bulls, and then Montreal on Decision Day. I feel like, guys, this could come down to the wire. I wouldn't be surprised. We're sitting here on decision day, and San Diego and Cincinnati level on points with goal differential or a tiebreaker separating the two, and it being decided on the last day of the regular season. I really wouldn't be surprised if that happens, Henry.
For sure. I mean, it's neck and neck. And I think this is one of the most interesting, I've said it before, one of the most interesting Shield races that we've had in recent seasons, because there is literally no true front runner. There were several teams that could potentially come in and win this Shield race. Cincinnati, a strong candidate. But if we're looking just at San Diego and Cincinnati, who are the two in the lead right now with 8 games to go, I'm looking at the paths that these teams have to take. And honestly, I think Cincinnati has the harder schedule remaining. I mean, we're talking about a Philadelphia side that is right behind them, had been leading the Shield for a couple weeks now. Nashville already, they've shown their class. They are among the top teams in the East. And LA Galaxy that is surging. They are coming out of the ashes of what has been a pretty bad season. And hello, this game happens a month from now. Guess who is training with LA Galaxy? Ricky Puig. He is probably going to be back for that game. And Cincinnati is going to be in for a tough time at Dignity Health Sports Park, where, by the way, the Galaxy went unbeaten last season. And I expect with Ricky Puig back, that is just going to be a huge momentum boost to them. Orlando, tough team. Red Bulls, they could surprise you. I'm not going to say they're a great team because they are still, I think, as far as I remember, below the playoff line, but they can surprise you just like they did to Philadelphia. San Diego, on the other hand, I mean, their tough games are LAFC, Minnesota, top of the West, and then the rest, those are games that they should be reasonably expected to win. Atlanta United, that should be, 3 points at the Benz, no question.
Name your scoreline.
San Jose, you beat them away, you could beat them at home. Houston, we just talked about them, and Portland. Come on, these are games that you need to be getting all 3 points from, and I expect them to do so and be the first team since the Tampa Bay Mutiny to win Supporters Shield in their expansion season.
And I'll say this just real quick, Tyler, before you jump in. Nashville, Henry, you mentioned Nashville. Nashville losers for their last 3, so the shine has definitely worn off Nashville. Now 5 points back of Cincinnati and San Diego. So I don't know if they'll still be in the race, but you have to think it's San Diego at this point, as we speak now. San Diego, Cincinnati, and Philly are the 3 teams that will be in the running for the Shield with 8 matches to go.
I think it's Philly. Personally,
I think Philly.
Wow.
I mean, they're the hunt.
I just think they're the ones that, when it comes down now, this is not taking anything away from Cincinnati, but when you look at the discipline amongst the 3 teams, San Diego, I mean, they're riding an absolute high right now, as they should be. And I still think you get in the Western Conference, I think they make it to MLS Cup. I really do. Now, whether they win it, I don't know. But on the other side, Cincy, though they're there now, there are some weak spots that you've seen with them. Now, they've tidied them up quite well here in recent weeks, obviously, to bump themselves up to where they're at now. But Philly, I mean, even when they've kind of, bumped in like the Red Bulls this past weekend, like they've had moments, but they've been pretty consistent. And it's interesting because we go back to the beginning of the season, we were like, dude, Philly's done.
Yeah.
They did nothing in the offseason, essentially. This is going to be the worst season for Philly ever. And now here we are, week 27, 28 now. And I'm saying they're going to win the Supporters Shield.
What do we know?
I think they have the discipline more than the other two do to pull it out. Now, yes, schedules, that's a big factor. But if I had to put money on it right now, and I'm not, but if I did, I would give it to Philly. So
that's fair. And Philly's a good shout, and for all the reasons that you stated. My thing, though, is I do think they have a tougher schedule. They do have to play Cincinnati. Yeah. They have to play Vancouver, which, by the way, now has Thomas Müller. And they play Chicago, which, I mean, normally I wouldn't be talking about Chicago as like a huge, team, like a huge barrier to a team, but this season with, Philip Zinkernagel coming in and having a fantastic season, Jonathan Bamba, Hugo Kuipers in a Golden Boot pace, just behind the main pack chasing the Golden Boot. I mean, they are fast becoming a threat, and I think that's a team that could give Philly a run for their money. So I'm really interested to see the end of this Shield race, because again, any team could win it.
Yeah, 100%. And
it'd be fun.
Game Zone mentioned in the chat too. Miami, you always get Miami's always going to be there. Kind of like y'all were saying, both y'all were saying, but like they have lots of games in hand for sure. So there's always going to be that inkling. And speaking of Miami,
nice segue to Miami.
Do my best, Henry. Enlighten us as to what shenanigans went down with Lionel Messi.
All right, this is fun. So, Inter Miami, they defeated the LA Galaxy 3-1. Lionel Messi came back from injury. He comes back and he does what Messi normally does, right? An assist, a crazy goal where he dribbles past two defenders and fires home from distance. It's just Messi things, right? Makes history, becoming the second fastest player in league history to score 40 goals, becomes the sole leader, top the Golden Boot race. Yeah, whatever. It was what happened at the end of the game that caught people's attention.
Uh-oh.
So there's a video, and I think the original one was from Franco Panizo. He was basically like, before the final whistle, he was like close to the touchline, like the halfway line where the subs come in. Like he was like standing right there, like looking back, right, to the ref and like checking the play. And then the whistle blows and he immediately beelines for the tunnel and goes straight to like the locker rooms, right?
Wow.
Okay, that's weird. Then another video from Franco Panizo comes up showing him hurriedly leaving towards his car with like his what do you call it? His toiletry bag and stuff like that, his stuff that he brought for the game. He's just gone, right? Him, wife, kids, everyone, led by his freaking bald bodyguard, going to the car. And so it leaves all of us speculating a little bit, like, why after a win, after a good win where you just had a goal and an assist, why did he seem to be in such a rush to leave? Now, it could have to do with potentially, did he feel something? Was it kind of a slight knock, an injury? That's kind of some of the stuff that was floated around. Something personal, maybe. Who knows? He got selected on Argentina's preliminary roster for the September international break, but that is like a month from now. That should not impact this. Again, remember, they have a Leagues Cup game on Wednesday, followed by a normal league game this weekend. So he's not going to be taken off to Argentina quite yet. So we're not sure, guys, why Lionel Messi just basically beelined out of Chase Stadium after this game.
And that's not the only news that came with Miami. Let's add Michal Kremaski has kind of said, hey, I want to play. And like Mascherano said, hey, if you want to play, you got to talk to me. Don't talk to the media. Talk to me. So maybe there's a little bit of back and forth between Michal Kremaski and Javier Mascherano. But interesting times in Miami. If this is like, or Fort Lauderdale, if this is some scrub player we're not talking about, this Lionel Messi leaving right after the match, and I mean, South Florida drama. I don't know what to make of it. What do you guys think? Do you think it's injury, or what do you think? Do you just, like Henry said, feel something, or
I don't know, man? It could be anything. Like I think I don't know. Like you said, if this is Chris Müller, nobody cares, Right. But because it's Messi, everybody's going to scrutinize every single thing he does. You got to think about it, man. These guys, they're people. We've all been at work, and you're like, "Hey, I got to get out of here quickly because I got stuff I got to go do." It might have just been he had something planned that night. the alternative side of that, like the complete opposite side of the spectrum, would be the fact that he's, got his bodyguard right there on top of him more so than maybe he normally does.
Mm.
And he dipped out so quickly. Maybe there was something that, maybe there was a threat. Maybe somebody said something that just didn't sit right with Miami and or Messi and or his bodyguard. And they said, you know what, be safe. Let's just get out of here. Like, we don't need to waste time doing all this bull crap. Like, it could be anything. It
feel
really
like we're never going to find out, too.
Probably
Under
not.
lock and key.
But I mean, I don't know that injury would be it though, because it's like if it were injury related, I feel like that's the place you would want to be. Go get a massage. Go relax. Don't dip out that quick. It'd be one thing if his family were waiting in the car and everything else, and they skedaddled out super quick, but like they got in after he did.
Right.
I don't know, man. It could be a million different things, but it's going to be all speculation because I don't know that question will ever be answered.
Guys, think about that's the main storyline for that match. Not the fact that he scored a goal in the assist, but he split right after the match. I mean,
he scores every game. Who cares about that? We care about why he's running out of the stadium.
Who cares about Golden Boot?
Is his Uber Eats driver getting to his house too early with his freaking weird pizza? Is that what it is? We have to know these things.
We got to dig into that.
I'll call the pizza place and ask.
Call him, Oh, shoot. We delivered it an hour too early.
Right.
The pizza's getting cold, guys. We got to go.
Yeah.
So who knows? It's interesting to say the least. That's not normal. And anytime the best player in the world does something abnormal, it's going to make headlines, especially when somebody gets a video of it. But I don't know, man. It's just going to be everybody guessing for a week, and then it'll disappear, or he will come out and be like, "Oh yeah, this happened," and then everybody will know, and then we can talk about it next week.
Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath.
Definitely hold your breath. Not with Lionel Messi, Ronaldo maybe, not with Messi.
Yeah.
All right, so jumping from Miami on off to California. Well, I guess the other part of California.
Big jump, dude.
It's a massive jump.
Really
Miami to California, that's a huge jump.
That's a big one. So San Jose, they hosted San Diego for the first time ever. And the supporters came up with a new trophy for this match. The El Camino Real.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Solid try,
Yeah.
El Camino Real.
There it is.
There you go.
If you wanted the spicy
native
version
speaker,
of the pronunciation.
Yeah, that's the other way how you could tell us apart, by the way. But no, I mean it's cool. They came out saying that they're trying to get both of the LA teams involved as well, which is neat. I love little kind of like inter-regional trophies like this. I mean, Atlanta, Nashville, Charlotte have the belt, the Southeast belt, like which I wish it was made a bigger deal than it is. Unfortunately, it's not, except by the team that currently owns it.
Right. Yeah.
But I like these. You have like the Cascadia Derbies and the Cup and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, Copa Tejas,
yeah.
I'd love to see this. It's really cool. But the game itself, talking about Joseph Martinez earlier, was somewhat dramatic. He opened the scoring in the 72nd minute, and then San Diego does what they do, which is the mark of a good team, and they come back. So this all happened very late. I mean, post 30 minutes of the match.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
I think San Diego, again, showing their mettle, showing that, they have what it takes to possibly win that Shield for the first time. Henry since the Mutiny did it in 96. What a team. What a tremendous job Tyler Heaps has done to put this team together. What a job that Anders Dreyer has done. What a job that Chucky Lozano has done. CJ Dos Santos will throw him in as well. Little used goalkeeper from Inter Miami comes over to San Diego FC. Not the best keeper in MLS, but he's done his part in helping this team get to where it is. So this team is just very strong, very talented team, and nobody saw this coming right. Everybody picked San Diego. They're like, whatever, bottom of the table. And they have so many supplementary pieces too. Invartson scoring as well, like a primary scorer. Understar, of course, got hits. Don't think he'll win the MVP at the end of the day, but he'll be definitely the hint. He'll get his share of votes for sure. But right now they have the goal differential lead over Cincinnati, and now what's all that's left to do, excuse me, and we talked about the remaining schedule, is see this out. Can they see this out? Can they get the results they need down the stretch to seal this historic season? Now, here's the question. What will this look like in the playoffs? Cautionary tale, right? St. Louis, a few years back, won the West in this first season, and they crashed out in the first round of the playoffs. I don't think that will happen with San Diego FC. I really don't. I feel like the talent level is much higher, much more consistent. I think they'll be able to get results down the stretch. I said it before, I'll say it again. It would surprise me to see the Shield race come down to decision day, but another win for San Diego, another step toward history, Henry. And I guess what's kind of your takeaway from this match, this particular match?
It's significant to me that they got yet another result without Chucky Lozano, who coming into the season was really the guy that I think we all expected to be the main, I guess, icon for San Diego FC, to be the main man. And he's missed some games due to injury, and San Diego's been fine. Because, I mean, you have Anders Dreyer, who is literally an MVP candidate on your team. And so just fantastic that you have him, that you've put together just an extraordinary team around these guys, and that's just able to consistently grind out these results. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how they do, though, when it comes to the playoffs. And the regular season means nothing at that point. We know this. Obviously, it determines if you're playing at home or not, determines who you're playing, the ease of your opponents, whatever. But it doesn't really mean anything as far as your chances for winning MLS Cup, because with the exception of, I believe it was LA Galaxy, or not LA Galaxy, LAFC in 2022, most teams don't go and do that double of the Supporters Shield and MLS Cup. It's very rare that a team actually manages that. So if they do end up winning the Supporters Shield, which they very much well could do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can translate that to MLS Cup with some of the other teams that are in here, because remember, playoffs, except for the first round, it's one and done. It's one game.
Yeah.
So with this Leagues Cup, I think it was a little bit of a warning sign. They crashed out relatively quickly. Again, Liga MX's teams, and they got two of the big ones in Tigres and Pachuca. Those are probably not a good sample size for what they're going to be facing in the playoffs, but it still kind of shows that they might be a little bit fragile in those single elimination type scenarios. So we'll see what happens at the end of it all. But yeah, they can certainly be a candidate to go and make a run in the playoffs.
But Tyler thinks they're going all the way, right, Tyler?
Yes, I do. I think they're making it to the Cup.
Okay.
I don't think they win.
They make MLS Cup?
Yeah.
And not LAFC with Son?
I think there's a possibility that those
is that the Western Conference final? Let me ask you that.
Yes.
I
Okay.
could see that.
And I think right now it absolutely is like a realistic possibility, because there's so much minor movement between those two spots on both sides of the seating. I think it could happen. But I think the Eastern Conference team wins it again. Again.
Right.
As if they did last year. They didn't, but you know what I mean. They typically do.
Yeah.
So, no, but we'll see. San Diego has been, again, we've talked about it, one of the most fun teams to watch this year, but they're playing good, fun soccer as opposed to fun soccer that leaves you like with high blood pressure at the end of the night. They're playing really well, and it's enjoyable to watch. So,
fun team.
Leagues Cup, and that is this week as well. And
quarterfinals.
Yeah, quarterfinals all Wednesday. We have at 8 p.m. Inter Miami versus Tigres. At 9, Toluca, Orlando City. 11, That is ridiculous. Seattle and Puebla. And then
MLS after dark.
11:45.
It's the most random
What are we doing? 11:45 Eastern time. Good Lord, come on!
Wild.
No one's watching that. No one's watching that on the East Coast. What are we doing? Come
On
on,
a Wednesday? Like,
Leagues Cup.
dude, no. Saturday, maybe. We'll talk. We'll talk.
Why not split these into, play 2 of them on Wednesday and 2 of them on Thursday?
That makes too much sense, Henry. That's why.
Because then they're going to have to go and play on Saturday again. So they want to get them all out of the way.
That's true.
Just
That's
move
true.
them to another day. Isn't that complicated?
I
There's
hear
gotta be
you.
easier. There's gotta be an easier way though. 11:45 Eastern time. Come
No
on.
one's going to watch this. Everyone on the East is going to sleep. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's a Wednesday. People got to go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way. And that's 11:45. That means kickoff's not till like 11:57 or
Right.
something.
You
Right?
better hope there's not like a weather delay or that this match goes to
well,
penalties or
I mean, it's
something.
LA, so I don't know about that. But
How about penalties? Penalties is a legitimate possibility.
watch
not just actually
go to penalties.
Sydney, not just penalties in this game, but the Toluca Orlando game is also going to be a Dignity Health Sports Park. So if that one goes to penalties,
Interesting.
the LA Galaxy game will also be delayed.
Yeah.
So think about this. This game could end at like freaking 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
Remember that Atlanta Nashville match?
Incredible.
That exactly thing? That
Yep.
thing exactly happened.
I was there.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Dom
thank you.
Dwyer scored the equalizer, by the way. Speaking
Yeah.
of.
It all
I was
comes
there.
back. It
Yeah.
all circles back around.
Yeah.
So who wins it? Or who wins at least out of let's say who wins these 4 and who wins it all?
Yeah. Miami, I think the big question is if Messi is available. I think you have to ask that. If he is, I think you have a fighting chance if you're Miami. Outside of that, I think Tigres wins that one. Toluca, Orlando City. I mean, at this point, based on the way Orlando City has been playing in MLS play, I don't imagine they'll rotate too much because this is their probably best, not their only chance, but one of their best chances to getting to Champions Cup next season. Toluca have only lost 1 match out of 5 in the Apertura, so I could I could see that going to penalties. I could honestly see that going to penalties, but Orlando City, I feel, will come out of that. Puebla, Seattle, or Seattle, Puebla. I don't want to bet against the Sounders. I feel like the Sounders will come out of that. And then LA, Pachuca. I think Pachuca easily. LA, kind of counting their blessings that are even in this spot right now, the quarterfinals. But I think Pachuca wins. I think it'll be a very pro Pachuca crowd being in California. So those are my picks: Tigres, Orlando, Seattle, and Pachuca. Henry, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Miami. I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt to Toluca. I think Orlando City has been playing some good soccer, but this is gonna be a cross country trip for them. Toluca, I mean, it is also a trip for Toluca, but Toluca is just one of the teams that is, they play some really good soccer. They've gone toe to toe with teams like Columbus and have showed some really good soccer. So I'm gonna give this one to them. So yeah, I've got Miami, Toluca, Seattle easily on Puebla, and then I've got Pachuca over the Galaxy. Galaxy doesn't really convince me a whole lot when compared to. I mean, they've been improving, but I don't think that's going to be enough to beat a team like Pachuca, a very solid team that they don't mess around. So I'm going to give that. I'm going to give that one to Pachuca. And if you ask me for who I think is going to win the whole thing at this point, I'm going to say Inter Miami.
Yeah, I forgot to mention mine too. I think Tigres are going to win Leagues Cup. What do you think, Tyler?
Man, I'm like right in between. So I've got Miami over Tigres. Didn't you pick Miami over Tigres as well?
Who,
No, he picked Tigres.
Yeah, I picked Tigres.
Oh, okay. I'm tripping. Okay. No, no. I think Miami over Tigres. I think Toluca over Orlando. I think Seattle over Puebla, and I actually think Galaxy over Pachuca. And I'll tell you why. Not hard. I just think it's the Galaxy team is going to play harder than they have because this is their chance to win a trophy this season. Period. And I think that could take away a lot of the spiciness of how demoralizing their season has been. And it's been for valid reasons, but it's still been a massive fallout after winning MLS Cup last year.
Yeah.
They go and win Leagues Cup. I don't think they will, by the way. But I think this game, they're going to fight for it harder than Pachuca is going to want it. And despite all their misfortune and everything else, I think that they win this game. Overall, I am going to go with Inter Miami as well.
Okay.
I think Inter Miami wins it all.
So even without Messi, you think? Even without Messi, they'll win it?
I think they're going to have Messi.
I think they're going to have Messi. But if they don't, then no.
Yeah.
If they don't, then no. And if everything else stays the same with my predictions and they don't have Messi for those final match or a couple matches, I would probably say Toluca wins it. But anyway.
Great minds think alike.
Interesting.
Yeah. We do.
And dress alike.
And dress alike. So there's
I posted it.
Huh?
Yeah, by the way, I posted a social for those of you listening after the fact. There's a picture of Tyler and Henry dressed almost identical to each other, down to the glasses.
Entirely on accident.
Yeah.
That's why this episode started off with me not making it through the intro.
Yeah.
Top 10 Scarves and Spikes moments of all time.
Right.
There's a lot of good ones, so that's big words. All right, so jump into the final part. Before we do that, y'all go visit scarvesandspikes.com for all your Atlanta United related news, Southeast soccer related news, and go join the Patreon, patreon.com/scarvesandspikes. Get you into our Discord, get you into our watch alongs. We've had a couple of those lately because of the away matches, but the Discord always hopping, always conversations going on. We have channels for MLS as a whole, obviously general chat about Atlanta. We have all kinds of topics going on in there. So go join up, patreon.com/scarvesandspikes. The other tiers, you do get access to some other exclusives that we have going on. So hop in there. And then also, while you are on the website, scarvesandspikes.com, you can go get you a coffee mug. You can go get you a hat, and you can match Henry and I as well. You can't get glasses there, but you can get beer glasses. So you should get you a beer glass. Yeah. And a variety of other things, t-shirts.
They could get a t-shirt so that they can twin with us on the next show.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll say this. Please go to our store. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on there. Mm-hmm. We really, that really helps us out. Do MLS Monday, do our Wednesday show, do our, our Sunday shows. That helps us out. We want to do more. We want to help you guys, get the coverage you need. So please go to the store. Please support us on Patreon. Not to beg, but that definitely does help us out so much. Like us, subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeart. Leave a rating, 5 stars if you feel like it. Leave a review of how we're doing. We definitely do want to hear from you. This show is all about you. So, yes, let us know how we're doing. Support us in the best way you know how. And
smash that like button.
Smash the like button. Smash the like button. But Tyler laid out the ways you can do that.
Yes, indeed. Yoltz, Hulu, we are twinning 100% today. Yep. Inadvertently, but we are twinning. All right, so now moving on to our, again, unsponsored matches to watch for this week. And because you were the first one in the list, Henry, I will jump to you first.
Yeah, for me, it was an easy choice. I'm going to go with Nashville SC versus Orlando City. That one is Saturday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Yeah, but It's easy for me because we're talking about 3rd and 4th place in the Eastern Conference, both on 47 points. At this point in the season, it is, either the winner will keep in step with the leaders of the pack in the Eastern Conference and the Supporters Shield. The loser, you're probably done, but like that is probably it for you. And we're not just talking about the Supporters Shield. I mean, it's other implications, right? It's playoff implications because the better seed you have, in theory at least, the easier an opponent you get. For these two teams, I mean, They're probably also fighting for a playoff spot because Miami is hot on their tail with 45. Columbus also 45. So yeah, these teams cannot afford to lose. They're going to go all out, and they're two of the teams that have been playing some of the best soccer this season. Martin Ojeda and Luis Muriel, Marco Paslic, just an absolute core of DPs that Orlando City has. And then Sam Surridge, second in the Golden Boot, with Hani Mukhtar, who is former MLS MVP and in great form as well. It's going to be a fun game to watch.
I agree. I'm going to give you mine, and I'm going to say Portland or San Diego versus Portland. San Diego, you already talked about them numerous times tonight or on this episode. Phil Gibbs story of the year. Question is, can they keep going? Timbers have a chip on their shoulder, right? After having lost to Evander in FC Cincinnati at home. Went down 3-0, almost came back from 3-0 down, but couldn't finish the job. Can they bounce back? Can they recover from that loss and get back on the winning side? They're 6th in the Western Conference, 4 points back of Seattle, with LAFC between them and Seattle at this point. So they're going to need results if they're going to climb into the top 4. I don't think, well, I know that Supporters Shield is out of reach. Top 3 is probably out of the reach at this point, but a top 4 spot, which is a heck of a lot better than what they did last season with Evander, that is, by the way. But they need results if they're going to climb into the top 4. San Diego, same thing, if they want to win the Supporter Shield. So San Diego, Portland is my match to watch for this upcoming match day. Tyler, what's yours?
Mine is going to be the Philadelphia Union and Chicago Fire. The reason being, this is the time of the season, and for a lot of the same reasons y'all mentioned, where you're scoreboard watching. If you're a fan of any of these teams, or if you're just a fan of the league as a whole, like you're trying to see where these teams are in the standings. Philly got bumped out of the top spot over this past weekend. They're going to want to regain that, and Chicago is holding on for dear life for the playoffs. So as it stands right now, Chicago, we talked about them earlier, but they are tied with the Red Bulls on 39 points, but they are in that 9th spot on the tiebreaker, and it's very close. So they're going to want to win to give themselves a little bit of room, or at least keep themselves where they're at. And then the Philadelphia Union, they're only 1 point behind FC Cincinnati at the top of the East. So it's got big repercussions for both sides. And so I think both of these teams are going to go at it full tilt, and it'll just be an entertaining match, in my opinion. I think it's going to be one of those where you see some more grit. I'll use the buzzword. You'll see some more grit. You'll probably see some more cards, some more shenanigans, some more dark arts. But overall, I think it'll be a really, really fun one to watch. And I'll give you, this is just mine coming off this kind of off the top of my head. My drunken uncle match, in my opinion, if you want to watch a crap show, it's the first one, Montreal versus Austin. That has
oh my gosh, Tyler,
all over it. 100% circus. You've got a team that can't score goals and a team that can't do anything. Atlanta United.
So it's gonna be 3-3.
Exactly. That's what's gonna be a drunken uncle match of the week.
3-3, 3 red cards.
Yeah, we're gonna
4 missed penalties.
We will be talking about this game next week on Monday for all the best reasons. Mark my words.
It's recorded, so
there we go.
You can't back out. You cannot back out of that.
Bring the receipts. Bring the receipts.
Fun show.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Yes.
Putting up with our shenanigans, our matching attire partially, and
except me,
as my son said in the chat, our before and after shaving advertisement look that we have going on. Gary's or whatever shaving club,
right?
And you can sponsor
Dollar Shave Club.
Yeah,
you can sponsor one of the segments on this show.
Yeah, or both.
Hey,
or
both
not? Of them.
There you go.
Half your people call our people.
Or sponsor everything we do, and we'll change our name to Scarves and Shaves or something like that. I don't know.
There's got to be a trimmer involved. I can't just go shave the whole thing off. I could just put you in this spot and leave at that point. You can just have it.
Yeah. It's a good
As he
place to
raises
end,
his
isn't it?
eyebrows. But no,
Right.
it's been a fun one, guys. We appreciate you hanging out with us. We will be
Thanks
back.
for being with us.
Yes, Wednesday for our regular Atlanta United show. We're going to be talking about the upcoming match coming back home. We got
Sunday
lots of-
match.
Sunday match. We have things happening. You have players that have been and or were playing with the twos, playing for the first team. Lots of movement, lots of things happening for Atlanta on both of the first team and the second team. So
Yeah,
lots to talk about.
Fun times.
Indeed.
I think that's all,
And
guys.
That's it.
See y'all.
All right. Now we have to go figure out what we're gonna wear next week.
Write it down, Sydney.
I'll be sure to
Go buy you some glasses
Yeah.
and get ready.
The cheap ones with like no frames.
Right.
from Walmart.
I have to go figure out how to grow a beard between now and next Monday.
Good luck with that.
Coming here with a fake one. Please do it. All right.
Thanks to all our patrons.
Yes, for sure.
We
And
love you
join.
guys.
The link is on the screen.
All right. Bye, guys.